Okay, so here's the robot that I started to do in a demo in the previous class. Okay, so I'm going to erase this, but I'm going to show you how to go about making this. Okay, so let's get rid of it all. So to get rid of it all, I'm just going to drag around this with the selection tool and hit the delete key. Goodbye. All right, here's my sketch. I finished it. I made 2 sketches. I picked this one. I'm going to show you how to do this so you know how to use the shapes on top of your sketch. So the sketch is on one layer, okay? Make sure that the sketch is on one layer and that you have shapes on the other. So I'm going to lock my sketch, so the lock button, and I'm going to draw my shapes on this layer. And I can hide by touching the eyeball anytime I want to, just to check and see how I like my shapes. Shh. Okay, so let's see how to do this. So I want to look at my robot and go, okay, well, what kinds of shapes do I see on this? And I want to think to myself, I'm thinking about what I should do. So I see the eye looks kind of like an oval with pointy ends. I see the eyelashes look like little triangles all lined up together. I see the claw kind of looks like an oval, maybe with some points on it. And he's holding some trash, which is kind of a freeform shape. So I might draw something like a star and then reshape it with the direct selection tool. I see rectangles making arms and little circles for the joints to hold them together so that they can move. I see 2 little ovals for the neck stacked. Looks kind of like a neck bone spine, parts of a person. And I see that these rectangles and circles repeat. So I don't have to draw 2 arms. I can just draw some of the parts and then I can duplicate them and rearrange them. I see that the trash can looks like a rectangle with an oval here and an oval at the bottom. This has like part of the oval shape. And then I see like little ovals for wheels. And that's about it. So this is little circles in the middle, 2 circles. So I'm going to show you how to get started with this. And then you're going to do it all on your own. And this is going to be due on Wednesday next week. So I'm going to first do the eye. I showed you this in my video before, but I'm going to just review this so you can see. So I have the sketch part locked and I'm choosing the shapes and you can see that that's selected because this little part is highlighted with a line, a dark line. So I'm going to start with the eye and I'm just going to zoom in by taking my fingers and spreading them apart or closer together. Apart makes it zoom in and out. So I want to use a big spot. And I'm going to draw the eye really quickly. So I'm on my shapes layer. I'm going to choose under the shapes area. I'm going to choose, first, I'm going to draw the background of the eye because this is going to be behind everything. So you can rearrange things and put them in front of and behind. And remember, all of your robot is all going to be one color, all made out of shapes. You can use one color plus white. Okay, so I'm going to start with an oval shape for the eye. So I'm touching the circle. Remember, I have choices of these different shapes and I'm using the circle. And I'm going to draw, oh, nice. Someone's calling me right in the middle of my video. Potential spam, it says. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to draw my eye. And so I can start the eye in the middle or I can start it off to the side. There's 2 ways you can do it. If I want to draw from the middle, I touch the Option key and I can touch the middle of the eye and look, it draws from the center out. Okay. Or I can draw from over on the side over here and draw it so it goes like that. So there's 2 ways to do it. Okay. I'm gonna put that eye, whoops. When I want to move it, I need to make sure that I touch the arrow up here. That's the selection tool, and this is the direct selection tool. So there are two different functions. There's two arrows, but they do different things. So I'm going to move this eye, and right now it's white, so it's filled with white. So I want to change it. So I go to the properties, which is these little tiny circles on these lines up here on this side. So we have tools on this side and we have tools on this side. So the right side toolbar, the right sided toolbar, I'm going to touch that properties, and I'm going to change the fill. Right now, I want to fill it with none. So I'm going to swap that. Right now, it has the line as none. I'm going to swap it over here. And I'm going to make the stroke the color that I'm eventually going to use for my whole robot. So I'm going to pick a green because it kind of reminds me of Oscar the Grouch. So I picked a green color. And then I'm going to fix this eye because right now it doesn't have the pointy ends. So to make the pointy ends, I need to select it. And then I'm going to choose the direct selection tool, which lets me do different things than the regular selection tool. So see these little handles right here? Please stop making noises and crunching things and squirming because it's annoying. All right, so I'm going to change, right? See these two little things right here? This makes things curvy and this thing makes pointy. So if I select a point, like one point with this tool, I'm trying to do it on my computer. If I select just this point, notice that these turn white now, and this is the only one that's solid. If I touch this, it turns it into a point, and I can turn it back into a curve by touching that. Okay, so that's a really nice little, this is the different point selections that it'll change it. It's the point changer. Okay, can't think of what it's really called. And I'm going to touch the other point, and I'm going to touch this again and make it into a sharp point. So now I have my eye shape. Now I'm going to do a circle. So I'm going to go back to the circle, and I'm going to go to the center because I'm going to draw from the center out. If I touch this, or if I touch the Option key on my keyboard, which is why I like to use the keyboard attached to the iPad. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to work my way out. And if I hold the Option and Shift key, look at that. I make a circle that I draw from the center, and it makes a perfect circle. So I'm going to make one, and then I'm going to make another in the middle for that pupil. So it's not all perfectly lined up, right? So all this is not perfectly lined. So I'm going to select them with the selection tool. And I can go to the alignment, which looks like a little bar graph over here. And if I touch that, I can choose center and center on two axes. And now it's all centered up. So to fill it, remember I swapped it so I could see what I was doing, but I'm going to fill this bigger circle with white. So I'm going to swap the stroke with the little swapper right here. So now it's filled, and I switched the line. The line is none. All of the lines are none. Although sometimes you can put a line if you want to make a white line or make your colored line and fill something with white. It's your choice. And I am going to fill that with white. So I'm going to touch the fill, and I'm going to choose the white, which is just right here. There's a white and a black, so it's just like a quick thing. You don't have to go find it in there. And now I'm going to color the background with the green. So I'm going to swap it right here, and all I have to do is swap it, and now it's filled with the green. Now this one, I want to do it to the middle one. And I'm going to swap it, and now it's green inside. And so now I have my eye done. And I can check how I like it by touching. I can check how I like it by touching the layers and hiding by touching the eyeball right there. I can hide my sketch and see how I like it. It's nice and neat and clean. Okay, so I'm going to draw. So what you want to do is you want to just look at the different shapes that are on your piece. I'm going to draw just this part right here, and then I'm going to stop the video. So what shapes do I see here? I see sort of an oval, but it's got kind of a pointy oval, just like the eye. That's sort of that eye shape again. And I see a circle and a rectangle. So I'm going to draw my top part of my robot arm. So I'm going to draw a circle right here. And if I hold Option and Shift, I can draw from the center out. So I got that. Then I'm going to change the circle to a square or rectangle. And I'm going to draw a rectangle shape. And then I can rotate it with this little handle at the top right there. So I'm going to put it down near the, I'm going to use my, make sure you change to the arrow or it's going to draw another rectangle. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to rotate it and I'm going to move it to where I want it with the circle. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And you can move it in little increments just by touching your arrow keys on your keypad. Okay, so there I have the arm. I'm going to make it a little shorter. And then I'm going to draw the claw. So it's got a claw that can grab the trash. So that claw looks to me like the eye. It kind of looks like that eye. So I'm going to draw an oval with a circle. And I'm just going to do it over here. I'm going to draw that oval shape. And then I'm going to do another one. I can duplicate it by touching the duplication right here. If I do that, now there's another one right on top of it. If I move it, you can see. But I'm going to squish it together a little bit by touching a handle. And I'm going to put it on top of this and I'm going to turn it into a white. So I'm going to touch the fill. And I can touch the white and now it's white. Okay, so now it's starting to look kind of claw-like. So I'm going to rotate it. It looks like a claw, but I'm going to make it a little skinnier. And I'm going to make the end a point. So I'm going to use that direct selection tool right here. And I'm going to change that one point right here with that little tool right here to make it a point. Whoops, I did all of them. Uh-oh, that's not what I meant to do. You know why that happened? It's because all of the points are solid. If you tap off of it and then just tap just one, notice that these are now white. So you want to pick the one that you want to convert. So I'm converting that to a point. And now it looks a little bit sharper, like a claw. And I'm actually going to rotate this though with the regular selection tool so that it is like lined up a little bit the way that I like it. So I'm going to move it around. I kind of like it having two different sizes. And then I can surround both and I can move it onto the place where I want it to be. And I can also rotate it. Please stop rustling around. And if I need it to be bigger, I can grab a corner and make it a little bigger. And I can use my arrow keys to get it so that it's just touching the end. And now let's take a look. So I hide my sketch and I can see my arm and there I have it. Okay, I'm not going to draw this whole thing because I think you're going to have fun. I do want to show you one thing. So let's do the little eyelashes again. If I make the eyelashes as a triangle, I can draw like a little triangle. I need to fill that with the green color. So I'm going to go back to my properties. I'm going to choose fill. And I'm going to, I need this to be the color. Where's my little eyedropper? I don't have an eyedropper. If I choose the fill, there's the eyedropper. I can choose this. Come on. Eyedropper. Yeah, not doing it. There. Okay. So now I filled it with the green and I'm going to put it right on the middle of the eye. And then I'm going to make another one. I can just touch it. And then I'm on the regular selection tool up here. So you see that it's blue. I'm going to duplicate touching this. And now if I move it, I can move it over and I can rotate it with this little handle right here. So I rotate. And then I can put it over there. I really want to make a lot of eyelashes, but I'm just going to make 2 so I can show you how you can do it quickly. If I duplicate it again and I put another one, I can rotate it a little. Right? And so now I have half of my eyelash. I'm going to hide my sketch layer so you can see. So I'm going to move it over a little bit and I'm going to rotate it a little more till I get it where I want it. Okay, so now I have 3 eyelashes. And if I draw them all the way down to this part, then I would have a lot. And I don't want to sit there and draw a million triangles. So I can select the triangles on one side by touching one, holding the shift key, touching the second, and I can duplicate them. Now I have them and I'm going to move them over here. And I'm going to use the rotate tool and rotate them all the way around. And if I hold the shift key, they'll be even. No, I'm going to rotate them. And then I'm going to put them over here. Okay. So I'm going to get them in the right spot. And then I can make little adjustments. Okay. So that's how I can, you can duplicate things, right? So I can also do the same thing with the arm. So if I unhide my sketch so you can see it, if I duplicate this arm, if I like drag around all the parts and I touch the duplicate button right here, then I have another one and I can move it down here and rotate it around to be the part for here. And it needs to be a little longer. So I would just move just these down here and then I could make this little rectangle longer to fit my piece. Okay, so that's really all I'm going to draw. I need to adjust this a little bit, but remember you can use your arrows. And that's how you do the shapes. Okay, so I expect that you're going to make a beautiful drawing with from your sketch. Notice that I have 2 layers. I'm drawing on the shapes layer and I'm leaving the sketch layer locked so I don't accidentally move it around. And it's due Wednesday.